So today I'm going to be making a ring band out of 12 gauge wire, and it's going to be a double split design. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how much wire to cut. So I want to make a size 7.5 ring. So I'm using my ring hammer. I went ahead and I'm using my ring hammer, and I went ahead and got my ring sizer, and I found the 7.5 one. Let's see. And I went ahead and marked a line where the 7.5 line is, using this marker here. So then I found a piece of paper, or it's a thicker piece of paper, and I went ahead and I measured it. And you can find ring charts online to calculate how much metal you need based on your wire thickness, the gauge and everything. But this is just a real simple way. So because this ring band is not going to, the band itself is not connecting, it doesn't have to touch completely. But I want to make sure it will have enough material to make the ring. Well, let's see. So next I'm going to, I'll measure this. And it's 56 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and mark that in the metal. Do it this way. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this and then measure the second one and cut that as well. So I went ahead and cut 2 pieces of 12 gauge half round wire using the jeweler saw. And I wanted to make sure they are the same length. And now what I want to do, we're going to go ahead and bend the edges. I'm going to do it this way. We want the middle to touch because that's where you're going to solder it. So the middle part, the middle third approximately needs to touch. So I'm going to measure in about 18 millimeters on each side. Let's see here. 18. I'm going to go ahead and make a mark on both pieces. All right, so that's where I'm going to bend the wires. And I'm going to bend them in kind of a Y shape on each side. Each side's going to be shaped in a Y. So I like to use my different, I don't know what these are called, but they're my bending pliers. And what I'll do, make sure that's in focus, I'm going to put the large round right where that mark is, and I'm just going to bend it. I'm going to bend it sideways about, I don't know, 30 degrees or so. I'm going to do both sides. So it's about the same. A little more bend. Okay. You want that middle to stay pretty flat. That's where you're going to be soldering it. You can straighten that out a little bit. If it gets, the middle gets bent, I want that to be flat. And then go ahead, bend the other side. Same thing, about 30 degrees. Okay. And let's tweak this one a little bit more. Okay. Okay. As you can see, those lines they're lining up, and the middle is touching, and the Y's are about the same size. So we can go ahead and solder that band together. Alright, so the next step is to go ahead and solder our ring band together. And I'm going to use hard solder. And this is what it is. And I like to use the round solder when doing the ring band because it's good for that little piece of solder to sit right in that joint. So we'll go ahead and cut a little piece of solder here. I'm gonna go ahead and I've dipped this in my flux. I'm gonna use a little additional spray flux. Get some extra flux on there. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and heating the band until I get the flux to turn white. Let's get a little bit more on there. Spray flux isn't spraying as well as it used to. Alright, now go ahead and add our solder. Go right in between that. There. Oops. Okay. Solder it together. There it goes. All right, make sure it's all the way in there. And there it is. And we'll go ahead and put it in the pickle, and when it's done pickling, we'll go ahead and bend it. Right, I've got this ring band that I've soldered together, and now I need to bend it to be the right shape. So I want to make a size 7.5 ring. What I did is I marked, let's see, let's make sure, I believe it's the second mark. So what I do is I take these rings, this ring sizing set, and that's the 7.5, and I basically mark with my blue marker around it, and then I can bend and hammer the ring band to match it. I mean, maybe you could get one that's already marked and that'd be easier. I have this one that's already marked, but you obviously can't hammer on it. It's just really to size, to make sure it's the right size. So, first thing I'll do, take my pliers, and there are special ring bending pliers. I happen to have these pliers because they're so multifunctional, and I can bend my rings because they come together flat. And I can just bend it to get the original shape. And of course, a ring bending tool would be the easiest if you have one, which I don't. Okay, so I've got a rough shape there. And let's see. I need a rawhide mallet or some kind of soft mallet, so when you hammer the ring, you do not damage it. And then I want to put this on here, and I want to start shaping it. Notice I'm shaping it smaller than the actual size, and you can always bend these to be a little more exact. Let's see, it's getting there. And then you want to flip it over. See, I always bend it back so I can get it the right size. Make sure it's round. You can see that's way too big, so we gotta make sure those are bent in. Bring it down a little bit more. Let's get it back a little bit. And you just keep messing with it till you finally get the right size. And make sure you're happy with it, both sides. Yep, that went too far. But that's pretty good. Right there. It's hitting it right in the middle. And you want it to be probably a little smaller because you're gonna sand it around the inside, and it's you probably want it to be slightly on the smaller side. Just make sure it's nice and round. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I've got it hammered nice. You can take it on the measuring, and you can see it's hitting a little small, but so you might want to stretch it a little bit. But remember, you're going to sand the inside, and so it's going to get a little bigger, and you can always hammer it slightly bigger. So anyways, that looks good. So the next thing I want to do with the ring is I want to make it so when it attaches to the back of the ring, these little prongs are going to have a nice, they sit flat. So I'm just going to take some 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna just sand it down till that there's a nice flat angle. You want to keep doing that till it's very flat, and it's going to sit flush on the bottom of the ring. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'll do this side a little bit more. Alright, it's going to sit like that. To be able to sit flat. Okay. Comes to a sharp point. So I've got my ring band right here, and I'm gonna dip it in the flux. And I've got the bezel that I'm going to solder to there. I'm just going to set it on here. I'm getting it lined up. I don't want it to be crooked. So I got it lined up. Now I want to heat the flux till it turns into a white paste. Get a little more spray flux down there. There we go. I cut 4 little tiny pieces of easy solder. Make sure that's lined up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a little bit of flux on my tweezers. Okay, I'm going to take the easy solder and place it on the inside of each of these little the ring band where it's touching the back. So what I want to happen is I want the solder to flow under each one of the little feet and go towards the outside. So you can see that. We've got the solder placed right by the little feet. So now I'm going to, this is easy solder, back, heat it. Oh, and it moved. I gotta fix it. Just went rolling off. I don't want that to happen. I guess I will spray flux it. Maybe it won't move. Let's spray it. Maybe it'll stay there. And this one moved a little bit. Okay. Here. So did this one. Let's fix that. Okay. Okay, there goes the flux. And I'm heating on this side of the band. That's where I want the solder to flow. Oh, there those two went, and these two went as well. Okay. Get the cold water. Look at that. And there it is. It's soldered really nice. That's what it looks like. Nice ring.